I learned about Chris Sanders, the designer and director of Lilo and Stitch, and he's so sexual in most of his illustrations. This is a guy with a lengthy career as a designer and storyboard artist. Even his children's movie storyboards are a bit horny. I consider some of his work quite objectifying. I think sexual content isn't always an insult, but what I've seen of his feels very male gaze. But Lilo and Stitch is the example of Disney taming his talent into something relevant and unique. What we could call censorship is literally improvement.
And did that via honing in on his less objectifying style, the magical Calvin-y Hobbesy stuff. Just note how a large part of why he got into art is because he goes hubba hubba when he sees a boobie, and this impulse resulted in a load of creepy stuff where pornified women with no clothes or autonomy are draped into fantasy poses, and in Lilo and Stitch. He knew what to deliver for a children's movie. There's still a barely clothed female teenager with massive thighs, but she's not all cleavage, and the frontal characters are a stubby kid and one of the freak animal things he draws.
He worked on Mulan. Here's a sketch of his in which he criticizes Disney Suits' feedback of his work on Mulan. That's Mulan, the teenager with very complex gender issues who directly avoids her own femininity.
I know it's just a cheeky private sketch. He definitely wouldn't want those calves to be public, but it still illustrates the battle he fought to sexualize this kid.
Here's a sketch gift for one of his colleagues on Mulan, which shows how they thought about women between them.
He won't draw a man unless he has to, and they're monstrous.
Clearly, this style, with all its curves, is made in a way that fetishizes women. You can see that style in Lilo and Stitch, and you can see it become appropriate and lovely.
Look, even after trying to objectify their children's film leads, they specifically wanted his visual style because of the bits of it that are so good.
Sanders clearly did some amazing work for Disney and generally compartmentalized his fetishism. You know, the things I've shown here that are problematic are not official Disney releases. Look at his storyboards for Beauty and the Beast, and I think that outdoes the plainer finished movie. It's excellent. It's so expressive. I don't know any more about Sanders. He seems like an affable dude with a very positive influence on his fellow animators.
They used the right parts of what he's good at and extracted a feminist movie from his fetish. Within patriarchy, people are going to fancy and objectify women more than men, and that becomes a large part of the creative arts, resulting in this cringeful pencil porn. But just beside those photosynthesizing nipples, you'll find a really cool animal design. We find greatness by sifting through the crowd.